I don't remember.
Hello, welcome. You've been before to second night?
Yes. Hi, how are you? No, well, I think so. Maybe in passing. Maybe one other night you introduced me. Yes, you got it right. Excellent. Yes.
Oh, with Colin Scully?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I have. Yeah, I've made a few films actually. But, and I love watching the films that come a little early and watch the film. It's, yeah, I like the combination. I think the best part, but it's interesting. Kind of.
You can kind of, like the film and the board can be so separate,
Yes.
but then they come together and
It's right. Well, it's like poetry, right? It can be many things. So the same in the film that goes with poetry is the same. So in many ways, that's what I like. For me, the best poetry films are the films that work as a poet and as its own. Music, film itself is a great expression of poetry. That's to me. Direct. It shouldn't be a direct representation of the poem necessarily. It has to express something that's that's my opinion. That's what we do. That's what I love it. You know what? I didn't think of that, but it sounds so strange. My background is more technical, so that you just said that, and all of a sudden it became clear. You're right. It's a Venn diagram. It's a combination. It's when they all intersect. And I anniversary think you need sound and visual. So the sound and the visual and the poem, the best ones that work for all of us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ovale. Lovely to see so many of you in the room, and I believe there are quite a few people joining us online as well. So welcome to you too. I don't know if if you wave it. I don't know which camera? This camera. Yeah, great. Oh, nice. Yeah, Emily. Hi, Emily. I don't know if you can hear them, Emily, but everybody's going, hi, Emily. So lovely to have you here too. So I think most people have been here already, but for those of you that haven't, I'll just explain to you how the night pans out. So we start with me going hello, which we've just done. So hello again. Then we'll move on to the 5-word challenge, which is a writing challenge where you, the audience, offer up 5 words, any words, but only 1 word per person. So don't lose the run of yourself and shout 3 out at a time. You're only allowed 1. And then you get 15 minutes to compose a poem or a ditty, whatever, preferably a poem. And if you're brave enough, then come up here, read your poem, and the clapometer will be in my brain, working overtime, trying to figure out who gets the best response from the audience. And whoever does will win a drink from the bar or from your fridge and a couple of books, which you will get here or we will post to you. Okay, so then we have our little break. Following the little break, we have our guest poets, and in for a treat tonight. We have Jane Robinson, who's in the room, and we have Leah, Naomi, Green, who's joining us on Zoom. That should be really, really special. And then we have another break, and then we have the open mic where you get to share what you've been writing in the last while. Okay, so without further ado, can we have 5 words for the 5-word challenge?
We have hell from Catherine.
Hell from Catherine Ronan on Zoom.
Pixelated from Jeff.
And pixelated.
Pixelated.
And in the room, yourself? Dinner. Dinner. Dinner is always good, I suppose. How many? Devil. Got a theme going. Devil's going to eat you in hell.
Your foot by Brian.
Foot by Brian. Quick off the mark there on Zoom. So you have 15 minutes to write a devilish poem.
The 5 words.
Hell, pixelated, dinner, devil, and foot. That has been 15 minutes. There's definitely something very special about the 5-word silence. You can almost feel the poems in the air brushing against your cheek. And hopefully they'll come up here and breathe through the microphone. So yeah, we have a clapometer that lives in my brain. And it needs help from you, the audience. So if you really, really enjoy a poem, please make your response audible. So if you feel that, ooh, I'd really love to hear it, because it will help me decide who wins. So consider the mic open. And Paul will give me a nod if there's someone on Zoom ready to fire ahead. Massimo will kick us off for the 5-word challenge.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Did you call me to perform or you were just saying my name? I'm sorry.
I did, Massimo.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Go for it.
All right. So whether you believe in God or you don't, the devil should not trouble you. If you believe in God, then take comfort in the fact that the devil is a creation of God. And if you don't believe in God, then why would you believe in the devil? This is a beautiful way that both believers and non-believers can free themselves from delusion and dismiss the thought of hell altogether. Some people say that the devil's in the details, when actually the original phrase is God is in the details. But maybe the proof is not in the pixels. but instead in what is being pixelated and by whom. In a world full of points, maybe that's the point. That a human being is so powerful, each one of us can make a hell out of heaven or a heaven out of hell. And that even God or the devil did not exist before the one who imagines them. One may pray every night at the feet of their Lord, but do you ever pray to your own foot, which is more real than any spirit? One may pray every day for their daily bread, but when it's time for dinner, I have never seen anyone wait expectantly under the sky with their hands out. Thank you so much.
As I sink into an 8-hour hypnosis, my mind breaks like a riverbank and merges into a grey sea of policy. I've been picturing the nape of my own neck in the office, that small, soft vulnerability on show as I read through reports. Aircon blowing on the fine hairs as I innocently click. My nape floats like those blue and red swimming boards. Manager sharks swarm the cerulean carpets for dinner. Steel blue suits, acrylic nails pointed into diamonds. They hover around with icy blue eyes and policy minds. The devil designed productivity software, pixelated hell. Each foot in Birkenstocks. Yellow nails digging into the canvas. The panopticon of ubiquity. He's always looking, or is he? Thank you.
We'll go to Zoom now for Jeff. If you're ready, please.
All right, then. I had a 3-course dinner with the devil in hell. The appetizers were flat, but the main course was swell. It had a sweet taste, but with a touch of spam. It was spicier than chicken wings and bolder than lamb. I asked the devil, "What did you put in this dish?" He shook his head and answered, "To know you don't wish." "Oh, come on," I whined. "Tell me what's in this dinner." He rolled his eyes and said, "The foot of a sinner. Some pimply kid in Cork that I caught masturbating. My demon sawed his foot off and left him there, grating his teeth in agony and pain. There, are you satisfied?" I shrugged and I said, "Honestly, I think you lied. I've had sinner foot before, and this is way better." "Okay, fine," said the devil. "It starts with a letter P, but I swear that it's nothing too gross." "Platypus," I guessed. "You're right. Thank you, my host." Then he poured some cheap wine, and we got pixelated. And I went to Yelp and made the devil's cuisine 5-star rated. That's me.
The name is Sue. Sue. Toxic. If I could paint my heart, I'd paint it gory today. I'd put my foot in a puddle of blood as you lash your whip at me, flaunt your wielding sword, and stab your dagger deep, cold, unempathic, psychopathic, whatever, ripping my scar, stirring the wound with devil's claws. Your heart is darker than black. I evade your hell by having your picture for dinner until you are pixelated, and I will crap you out so your toxicity no longer rips my guts.
Hello, I'm Ben. Memory, when accessed repeatedly, becomes pixelated. Little quadrilaterals of light that gradually conjoin, getting larger and larger until that romantic dinner with an ex-lover that you love to linger over in the mind becomes but a massive red block, a kind of glaring hell brick that flashes across your internal screen, where the devil you know has not hooves, but one massive square foot, and Minecraft villagers is what becomes of your loved ones when they die.
Cathal. Bzz, bzz, bzz goes the electrical device that dominates every thought as my emotionless face screams into this pixelated hellscape of needs and wants and is perverted into smile emojis that turns others into the foot of the joke. Feigning wokeness, bespoke jewelry, what's new for me, what's new to see, and who's to be made a dog's dinner. There are no saints and sinners in this devil's playground as we bring this plague round, infecting us with coldness that we dress up as wokeness.
A poorly pixelated devil's dinner was a foot away on a hell red tablecloth. I had to eat that. Cold candles and crying rags. My stomach snores. How much do I need water to help me get through Brussels sprouts? And is that liver? Maybe I can add some salt so I frost. And eat before it gets cold. So I stabbed and cut a mash, and it was actually quite good, as that was not salt, it was sugar. Thanks.
Hi, Antonia. So this poem is called Cozy Place. A dinner in a cozy place, a vivid and comfortable fire, prepared with meticulous passion, as if the flames shine, as even the hell could be a nice place to stay for a while. 2 bottles of wine at the distance of a foot. A dog has the best rest close to the fire. A couple approaches the tenderness of the first bite of cold. The snow has already realized the pixelated geography of the upcoming winter. There are moments in which also the devil deserves some rest. Thank you.
think. Is that? Thanks. I wore heels this week. So this is called Online Relationships. At the head of his table, the devil sat, leaving his dinner untouched. Well, my girl, I could eat you up all the way from head to foot. I let out a sigh and rolled my eyes, tired of demons and men. They said hell was empty, but here you are. Can you not keep any friends? My vision glitched and time dilated. Suddenly, I was home. I may no longer be pixelated, but I bet he's still alone.
We'll go to Catherine Ronan online now, please.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there, but it was the first time in our 30 years living here that we had to call an ambulance recently. And big shout out to the ambulance guys, Mick and Sean. They were absolutely fantastic. This is called To Get to Heaven. Fascinated by your pixelated image sent from the highway to Hell Motel, I hover on your picture as I mix a new potent tincture. He could be the devil or the Lord knows what. Why, he could even be an AI chatbot. I could ask him to send me a kinky of his pinky toe. Then I would know for certain if he has a foot or a hoof. Then a thunderbolt struck. You must invite him to dinner. After all, you are a sinner. And to get to heaven, baby, you must raise a little hell.
Andre. My name is Andre. Hi. Salvation. It was a dinner from hell, as if the devil himself stirred it with his cloven foot. A pixelated stomach was all my fault, thinking I could find salvation to hunger in a seafood fra diavolo. Okay, so.
Hi guys, my name's Emily. I wonder, does the devil eat dinner? Does he have to do the weekly shop? 20% off with the Dunstore stock card. A cheeky Mars bar, only if he's good. Does he invite his friends for a meal on Sunday? Chicken thigh and pig foot, bread sauce and Brussels sprouts, with gravy of course. I wonder, do chickens even go to hell for him to eat from? What is hell but only the pixelated depiction of red and sin and too hot and too guilt I see on my phone?
The name is Cedric, and I titled this one Filth. Tippy tappy, the keyboard speaks. The entry in the field slowly shows. Blue-footed boobies. In the same room by my side, I can hear the electronics of the old modem convey my query. High frequency noises from the capacitors that bring me to the portal of a pixelated hell. I do not recognize this mess. Wait, I do. I want to click, but the pictures aren't ready. Dinner is, I can tell from the exclamation mark in my name shouted. I forgot the quotation in my search. Not that I mind the toxic content it will allow to make it to the screen, but the internet is too slow. I'll try again tomorrow.
Hi. Devil's afoot, where's the dinner, Mum? Rum tum tum and a rum tum tum. Devil lived well in hell until he didn't. Swell. Prince Pixel ate it. Pixel at it, down the way to hell. No way to tell how far they've come. Battle of the Somme, battle still to come. This bums me undone.
One eye standard, stark and staring hell straight into the gut of its pixelated pre-dinner aperitifs, all mojitos, margaritas, slight sips of sex on the beach, while the devil's ulcerated foot taps out time in bat-winged phonetics. Not easy for the living ear to hear, too hyped up on sucking life through a paper straw.
There's nearly always one more in the room. Anyone hiding down the back? Fair play to you, Max.
I read it. It's not finished. Out of pure pig iron. Random thoughts while cooking. Hell, I feel slightly pixelated, like Brian Cox says, bits of atoms, stardust, ventilated by one first breath. I sigh as I cook. Dinner conjures up steam from water, boiling rice rising suspended in midair, exercising any unwanted bits. Passengers from Bali. Unholy smoke, I think. And Orly Decent sings in the background, fiddling as I fire up the Fricksay. With her Cantor gang, the band Devil's Bit. They do exist, you know. And I think of Tipperary Mountains missing bits. And I'm still tapping my booted foot, and I check to see if the grill is switched on for the jambon. And I've cinderized the rashers, carbon, crispy bacon, rendered up, atomized, rendered up, red hot and smoking. Ooh la la. I melt coconut butter and I'm foxed and I'm thinking back onto our little hellfire trips on the back of Fiona Gilmartin's apple green Honda 50, exploring and orientating and exploring and orienteering and exploring and orienteering, tossing me back again, tripping through the atoms of time. 4 decades, is it? I believe it's 40. And I'm making memories from those moments, and I'm cooking. The memories are rising, sifting and sieving. I think I'm just a little pointillist. I'm just a surreal little sentient being, a Seurat painting, multicolored bits. Mama, how's the dinner going? Oh, very tasty, darling. I'll just have a tincture or something. Might simmer down the stardust tonight. Anyway, I didn't finish the last line. That's it.
Okay.
You dine at the top of every table, shoveling food into a red, raw mouth. Dinner, mouthing noises of contentment, tapping a cloven-clad foot against the bottom of a box, holding a pixelated screen. Waiting with the devil, dining with the devil, wishing for the devil to be shipped off to some other hell on earth.
Any more in the room? Down the back. Right. Well, the clapometer. It's a hard job. It was a very hard job, actually. You know, I have to say, Massimo, you set a high bar, and then Jim, you came in there pretty strong. Ben got along, ooh, somewhere, which is a sound I haven't heard in the room before. And Ali, you were kind of leading the way for quite a while, but then we got a rather long collective. And that I think the devil would be proud of. Roisin Leggett-Bowen, you are our 5-word challenge winner. So you have to come up here and read your poem again.
I'm really in shock. Jesus, the talent here tonight. I really am in shock. Wow. Thanks. Okay, this thing. Really brilliant though. Great poems. I enjoyed them all so much. One-eye standard, stark and staring hell, straight into the gut of its pixelated pre-dinner aperitifs. All mojitos, margaritas, slight sips of sex on the beach, while the devil's ulcerated foot taps out time in bat-winged phonetics. Not easy for the living ear to hear, too hyped up on sucking life through a paper straw.
Yep, your books and a drink from the bar as well, whatever you choose. Well deserved. You're all well deserved, really, but there has to be one winner, and that's the way it goes. So thanks for participating. We now will take a 5-minute break, or maybe 10-minute break. I've been a little man on my shoulder there. 10. Okay. 10-minute break. Enjoy it.
I love how every time I say like more stuff. You improve. No, it's true. You know, it's like I'm supposed to have maybe years of views. And every time when they are very short, and every time you meet them, they know more stuff.
You're settling into each other. How's your back? Is it okay? Mine as well. Yeah, just go to those work partners in the ground. Nothing's wrong. I think that I always felt like, quality and stuff. Right. But it was always yeah, that was because you're working from home. Lots of fun. My parents to be so impressed. More walking from home than going in because you do things and then happy days. Yeah. I can stay at home.
And then on the way back, we got no pressure.
Oh, I have that. Thank you very much. How's that go with the marks? Oh, I'll take that. Sorry. Well done. It's actually discreet. Oh, it's very. I just saw this very descriptive kind of numerals here, and I went, "Oh, okay."
What do you think? Off the J. No, these are years off the J. How many years this person deserves? These are years.
More than Jim. Look at that. Oh, I just cut. Oh, what was? Oh no!
jail, how many years this person deserves?
Yeah, one like this now. It's actually old.
Yes, and then you must cut another diagonal kind of line.
Rosie, I take full responsibility if you get into a full. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to waterfall band championship, but I'm not participating.
That's on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I can't go.
I think I'll just take a class. I think I will just prepare my bag and get out as soon as I basically have to navigate out of it.
What time starts there?
I think it's 8.
8.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I get to take a hotel room, but that was the original plan. That's the night there. Yeah, that was my idea. Just stay there because I took Friday off basically, so I have an extra day off. So the goal is to see everything. Hi, I'm like your photographer. You invited me to the event that you had to place, and I did the photo to get out, and I did. I mean, you invited me, and I say that I show up, but I didn't.
A lot of people couldn't make it on the drive. I knew it. We had another crowd.
So I heard, but yeah, I was very disappointed when Jim came to me like, were you there? And I was like, where? And then, then he would just remind me. Yeah, no, but that's the thing. I was thank you. But yeah. So,
we will invite you again, don't worry.
I would have to rely more on an agenda, which is something I normally don't do, but I can see the result. So, thank you. Started posting the videos, I think. So I used to because I think I saw you in front of the camera at some point in one of your pictures, and I was like, oh. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. Okay.
Yeah, it's places where everyone's like, oh, you're like, you think the poetry when you're like, oh. Yeah, it's like,
you can do two things at the same time. Yeah, I've been doing pretty well actually. Things have been looking up. And yeah, I've been writing and I've been having interesting chats with people. Yeah, what about you? Of course not. You and I know the kind of stuff that you wear on.
Okay, that aspect, yeah, but you're not bad, right? You should consider that aspect.
I do
It's not until you actually do it, and to actually learn those kind of stuff, go into that kind of mode, notice, like, or something like that.
I will. You know what? Good point of view on your side.
I'm only here tonight, and if you can use it, use it.
You're poking the right place. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you know what? I might just set that as the bar for next year. Maybe that would be the perfect just, get the ball rolling. Because yeah, I'd love to try
Oh, you do not pay attention to anyone
Like that rings a bell.
Yeah, but she had electives. These are popular mandatory for us, so she probably, because I know some people in biochemistry have electives for biology. Biology or I'll try to yeah, well, you know, the next week children in the corner stuck here. I will be.
No, I don't even remember so much of this. Yeah, it's a great
So just take a break from posting on Instagram. I just yesterday about whether people want to send their pictures and so we were planning on doing because it came up as a type. And what we do is a bit of both. So just two posts during one being still framed, one being recorded. So
Yeah, I was about to say, look, my handwriting like this. Mine's basically Chinese, like.
Am I allowed? I thought that you just decided to shoot me. I'm the same, don't worry. Cedric? Oh yeah, I told people that I was invited. I went to bed and at some point during the evening I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then went back to class. I hope they're forgetting
If you're looking at someone online, then it's not what's looking
I will put it in my calendar.
I'll just get a little drink at the bar and then.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that got those things are might be anything more.
You want to get up.
He made it. And that's exactly correct. There's always
I'll just wait for I'll just go Welcome back, everybody. I trust you had a lovely break and that you are now ready for more poetry because we have plenty of that to get through. Before I introduce our guests, I have a few announcements. So Ovale aims to maintain a safe space for writers and attendees. We subscribe to the Arts Council's equality, human rights and diversity policy, not because we have to, but because we really believe in it. And we ask that participants report any offensive behaviour to Ovale. So that would be Paul, and you can do that privately, via an email or whatever. But so far we've had no complaints from anybody, and hopefully we continue on that path. So the 11th 5 Words International Poetry Competition is underway, and the words for this week, you get a little night ahead of everybody else to get the words in, and they are shine, pendulum, art, sun, and dance. Please be aware that the evening is recorded, so you'll be able to revisit this on MP3, podcast, and on the video via Ovale's website, social media, and Vimeo channels. I watched the last time via my couch at home, and it was actually quite entertaining viewing. Vimeo, I have to say. So do check it out there. You can watch all the past renditions. Our guest poets for Monday, the 13th of November are David Nash and Grace Zhou, Z-H-O-U, Grace Zhou. Stan Nutt will be emceeing Debarra's Spoken Words 10th birthday event this Wednesday in Clonakilty. That's at 8:30 p.m. and it's fancy dress. So if you want to go down and support Stan, I'm sure that would be great crack. And the 2023 Munster Slam Championship is happening this Thursday, the 12th of October in, where is it happening? Waterford, yeah. So I think Jim's going up for that. We wish you all the luck of Ovale, and whoever else happens to be going up, and Sue, may the force be with you. And the 11th Winter Warmer Poetry Festival is coming up soon, so get yourselves ready for that.
and it'll be on the 24th to the 26th of November in Nanonagle Place, and I'm sure I'll be there, Paul will be there, and I'm sure loads of you will be there as well, and we're looking forward to it. Oh yeah, so the donation jar under the horse's head. It's a lovely little jar, and you know what? It really loves money. It loves it. It's never happier than when it's full of money. So if we can send that around the room and throw a few bob into it if you have it, and if you don't have it, don't worry, but just keep it circulating. Don't let it get stuck somewhere, not getting any money at all, because that would be very miserable for the jar. Okay. So our guest poets tonight, lads, we have two guest poets. Jane Robinson, who's in the room, and Leah Naomi Green, who's joining us from Zoom. And we'll have Leah reading first. So I'll just say a few words about Leah now. She is the author of The More Extravagant Feast, which was published by Grey Wolf Press in 2020, selected by Lee Young Lee for the Walt Whitman Award of the Academy of American Poets. She is the recipient of a 2021 Treehouse Climate Action Poetry Prize from the Academy of American Poets, as well as the 2021 Lucille Clifton Legacy Award. So she's a very fine poet. We can see that from her bio. She lives in Virginia in the mountains. Lucky Leah, and she teaches environmental studies in English at Washington and Lee University. And yeah, we're very lucky to have her. So thank you so much for joining us, Leah, and take it away.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, we can.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it's so great to see you all there. I really genuinely wish I was there. I am lucky to live in the mountains, but I don't have like a pub that I can go to and do that. And I wish that I did. About 20 minutes ago, my partner said to me, "Have fun in Ireland," and we were kidding, but now I know we weren't kidding. I really feel like I'm there. So thanks. It was fun to get to watch the end of your 5-word challenge. I didn't hear what the words were, but I picked up on them. And I'm sorry that I don't think I have any pixelation or devils or hell in the poems I'm going to read you tonight, but maybe some of next week's words, we'll see. So here's my book. This is The More Extravagant Feast. I'm just gonna read a few from this book tonight, and because you know how you all know, you're all poets, you know how it goes, that poems that seem like the most important ones in the world then feel like they were written by someone in a different time of their life before long. So I'll read from the book, and then I'll read from my new book, which is not a book yet. But for now, let's read from this one. We'll start with Field Guide to the Chaparral. The fire beetle only mates when the chaparral is burning, and the water beetle will only mate in the rain. In the monastery kitchen, the nuns don't believe me when I tell them how old I am, that you were married before. The woman you find attractive does not believe me when I look at her kindly. There are candescent people in the world. It will only be love that I love you with. When we get home, there will be our kitchen, the dishes undone. There will be our bedroom. What is it you eventually recognized in my face that allowed you to believe me? Beauty that did not come from you? Remember how it did not come from you, as white sage does not come from the moon, but is found by it and lit. The Buddhists say that the front of the paper cannot exist without the back. Because there is a there is a here. Chaparral, the density of growth, and the tattered chaps the mappers wore through it because they had to keep walking without being hurt. It is okay if we hurt one another. Chaparral needs fire. The pine cones cannot open otherwise. Love needs lover, whose last lover was flood. And it ought to have occurred to me before reading that. Do you all know the chaparral? Is that a term anywhere in your world? I'll take a second then. Yeah, maybe someone in the back. Yeah. The teacher in me wants to call on you. I don't know if that's totally absurd from another continent, but
I know it's a herb.
it's a
North American herb.
also I can't really hear you, but
She's saying that she knows it as a herb, a North American herb.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, that is probably true. I'm gonna look that up. It's also a ecosystem in Southern California that is fire-based. So that's the central metaphor that I was working with. But one of these ecosystems that needs fire in order to thrive. Great. All right. Venison. The deer is still alive in the roadside grass. In an hour, we'll cut her open, her left hip broken, the bone in her dark body. Now, the white Camaro, shocked in the night, and the boy, wet-faced in the back seat, his parents at a loss by the hood, too young to have meant any of it, the giving or taking. They are glad for our headlights, glad for our rifle. Her head still on, she hangs outside our kitchen window for the blood to drip, skin pulled down like a shirt. I watch my husband undress her with a knife. I wash the blue plates. When I turn the water off, I can hear his blade unmoor muscle sail through her fascia. We put her leg and buttock on the wooden table where we will gather her between us to eat all year. It is all I see, a thing, alive, slowly becoming my own body. I appreciate the clapping. I think it's really helpful because you're so far away to know that, yes, you heard that, you received it. Thank you. So I live in the mountains and it's raining. I don't know if you can see outside my window, but it's raining here. But we live in an ecological community here. So we grow most of our own food and we hunt, as you could see from that poem. And there's hunting in the next poem too. And when the book came out, I heard from a lot of vegans about the hunting poems in the book. And if any of you want to have that conversation with me, I would love to have that conversation with you. I was vegan for like 15 years before we started hunting. I will say that it has really bound us to this place. And as I hope is apparent in the poems, it's pretty magical to become the place by literally taking on the body of another being. Is there a vegan joke happening there?
They just finished your sentence. They said it's great to become the place by eating it.
By eating it. Exactly. Literally becoming it. Great. And that's what this book is very much about. And it's about it follows the arc of 2 pregnancies in and out of time. But it's really about eating. It's about becoming the place by eating it. But then it's also about my body becoming the bodies of my children. So that trophic exchange from the land to my body to my children's bodies. The more extravagant feast. The buck is thawing a halo on the frosted ground, shot in our field pre-dawn. Last night we pulled a float in the Christmas parade. It was lit by 1,000 tiny lights. My daughter rode in my lap and was thrilled when the floats followed us. Ours is a small town. Everyone was there, and their faces, not seeing ours, fixed behind us, were an open sea, a compound sea of seas that parted under our gaze, and Santa was bright, though my daughter shied from the noise of him. She studied the red and white fur of his suit. She woke this morning when the rifle fired outside. I lifted her to see the sunrise and her father kneeling above the buck's body in the middle distance. She asked if they would be cold. I brought him gloves and warm water, knelt with him in the spare light by the buck who steamed, whose liver and heart kept so long dark, spilled onto the winter grass, whose open eyes saw none of it, realized nothing of my husband's knife, slicing open his abdomen, his rectum. The puncture of his diaphragm startled me more than the gunshot, opening a cavern of blood that poured over his white belly. I did not understand the offering, but loved it. The fur, red, white, incoherent, somehow cleaner. When I come back in, she asks me to draw a picture of her father on the hill. I pick her up. The miracle of her lungs that grew inside me, kept long dark, her working heart let out into the rounder world, the more extravagant feast. The miracle of her dad on the hill as we draw him in his big coat, warm. Afterward, how he and I hold each other differently, feeling the collections of muscles and organs held somehow together. The miracle of bodies formed whole, like fruits, skins unruptured and containing the world. So everyone, that was me 4 years ago, which is great. And it feels like a long time ago. So I'm gonna read you some new poems. Is that okay? That's what I want to do. So I hope it's okay with you. So these are poems from my new book, which is nearly finished. And I thought I was gonna read more from the old book, and then as I was watching you all be vulnerable in front of each other and take risks, I thought that would be good for me to do too. So I'm gonna try these out on you. And you'll notice that the children are older, which happens. Yeah, maybe that's all I'll say for now. So here's one called Somewhere She's Learned. Somewhere she's learned that color is not color. The red flower, she tells me, absorbs all light but red, so reflects red, where she and I can see it. Daughter, I call her. Pulse of light, prism of many faces I know, so many I don't. You are particular, wave of the one deep ocean, and she absorbs it all, except daughter, which reflects back to my eye, radiant and factual as any prayer named for the very thing it cannot hold. Yeah, so I have a whole series of these poems that start with the line Somewhere She's Learned. You can throw that into your challenge, see what you guys come up with, and send me your Somewhere She's Learned poems. But yeah, it's true. Apparently at some point your children who are, start out inside of you, eventually start learning things that you didn't teach them in the world. So that's what this series is about. And so here's another one from that series. It's called Actual Poem. Somewhere my daughter has learned that the actual colors of leaves appear in fall. What I know about chlorophyll, I could tell you. It wouldn't help. The poem is in the leaf my daughter imagined, which cloaked some actual thing, some flock of pigments to free. Is it my actual mother I see? At almost 70, the frame of her mother revealed and finally polished, patina from so many hands. On the conservative talk show, a liberal guest shows a photo, a fetus, asking, "So you believe this is a human life?" Then revealing the embryo is actually a dolphin's. For a moment, I cannot see either dolphin or child, only a rope of cells between them, a trophic yoke from guest to host, marbled in the meat, then marbled in the belly, a pull-start pulley in me, turned into me, then into the embryo I bear, nursing babe, clothed girl who learns her facts at school. What has it grown, this mind that feels it must know its own opinion? When the pigments fade, the actual leaf is brown, is actually dirt when decomposed, is actually the sprout again, the tree, the acorn the deer will eat before I eat him. Somewhere I have learned that in the human body, a leaf takes its actual form, that in the human brain, it powers the fulcrum of actual, a lever weighted to say, you thought you knew, but now you know. Poor mind, always darting away with the prize. Stay with me here. Look at the leaves. This is fun. I'm figuring out how these poems read out loud. You guys are, I feel like you're my friends. Thank you. I feel like I'm trying some things out. It's helpful. All right. All right. The transitive property of song. Oh, and this one starts with an epigraph from Smithsonian Magazine. That's a quote that says, "Birds sing to their eggs, and this song may help their babies survive climate change." Of course they sing. We have given them no other verb. And because sing is what I do to my girl in the dark rocking chair, I call it the same. I conceive of myself, gentle as the wren, master of my singing, signals born through my body, the birds, every loving thing, just converting nouns to verbs for survival, air into breathe, sunlight to grow, infinite grammars I can't make or know. Some things are verbs, you'll learn. Fire and flood, yield and smile, I teach you, never knowing I do. You will make it if they like you. You are listening. Let us imagine it then as song. Harmony nested in the dark, humming live, 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 intransitive. I am humming. I am hummed. Singing is happening. Song is being sung. I like that you can't tell when they're done until I smile at you and then you all clap. So thanks for humoring me. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one. It's long. We don't need a long poem because it's late there, right? Cool. We'll stick with short ones. All right. Okay. This one's called Terrestrials. Oh, and by the way, you've noticed a lot of nature in these. I mean, that's generally what I do, but also I'm so excited to read with Jane, who's out there in the room somewhere, and she is a biologist. Hi, Jane. I'm so excited to hear your poems, and I love that you are actually a biologist. So, you know, tell me where I went wrong here, but I love that we have so much similar interests in our work. Terrestrials. Last night, you kept her up past bedtime, watching clips from E.T. on your phone, explaining why Reese's Pieces were cooler than other candies in the 80s, why Elliot felt weak when E.T. did. So she was tired when you woke her, as you'd promised, to walk the ridge at dawn, both of you in the hand-me-down camo and orange hats of our friend whose chemo has made hunting tough. His laugh, how none of it fits him now anyway. While you walked, she had a few questions. What extraterrestrials is, and if, after E.T. went home, he and Elliot stayed connected at such distance. I mean, she said, did they feel the same as each other from there? What she wanted was their lives after the ending. Even a sad story the mind prefers to no story at all. Always tuned for movement in the woods, an antler, a branch on which to hang some meaning, the heavy coat camouflaging as though it belongs. She feels. Sometimes I know what she feels. Together, we want a story before sleep. Her orange hat blowing up the ridge in the fog beside yours as she walks in beats, like the glowing heart of an extraterrestrial. This creature landed here with you for now. I have two more. You want to hear two more? Does that sound right? Great. Thank you. All right. Whoever you are, thank you. Okay. All right. This one's super fresh. This is probably my most recent one. Okay, gearing up for the holiday season. It's called Valentine's. My mother showed me to fold a heart in half to make it even. Good feminist of the 80s, she told me I was smart, capable, told anyone in the store, the voting line. Not pretty, smart. It was simple, two sides to a heart. I drive my daughters home through the dark and can barely see outside, the dome light grainy as a photograph. It cordons my sight, but they need it to see it all, they say. They are practicing their hearts, their crayons pressed, blunt, the arc of their seatbelts toward an unmarked center in the back seat, toward one another's reaching for an example. How, my daughter wants to know, do you make it even? I wish I could pull over, steady her hand, but I'm strapped in my seat too, facing forward as I must, straining to see what she can't and what she's asking about being a girl, about where we're going. I know better than to speak into the unseen dark, any truth I can't show her, but there is nowhere to pull over. A heart is made of two question marks, I say. Do they touch? She wants to know. All right. Final poem, and I'll go ahead and thank you all again. I really wish I were there, although I feel so lucky that I could skip the really long flight and be there with you this way. The Age of Affection. Thank you, moon, for following across the pond while I walked, for bringing me to the shore to say goodnight. The affection of your speech is inside me. That is exactly where I want it. Has anyone I've loved ever been anywhere else? You followed over the field too, and into the house, though the grass did not reflect you. or the Milky Way rising, as I can sometimes witness, even from inside it.
I hope you can hear that applause, Leah. That was really beautiful, and rest assured, you most definitely are in the room. Your presence is felt for sure, and your voice has filled the room and our heads and hearts. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Next up, we have Jane Robinson, who I now know is a biologist. I should have known that, but it's not written in her biog, so there we go. She lives in Dublin, and her recent collection, Island Atoll, was published by Salmon Press in 2023. And Jessica Traynor wrote at the Irish Times about it. She said, "These are formally ambitious, compelling poems which refine and refresh the Irish eco-poetic tradition." And I think it's fair to say that Jane Robinson is regarded as possibly one of our finest eco-poets. So we're very, very lucky to have her here tonight. Her first collection, Journey to the Sleeping Whale, was also published by Salmon in 2018, and it received the Shine Strong Award. And she's also been a recipient of the Strokestown International Poetry Prize. And I have another little plug when she's finished her reading, but I'll let her share her poetry with you first before
Okay. Thank you, Rosie. And thank you so much for inviting me. It's lovely to be back in Court to read. Am I standing close enough to this? Yeah, okay. All right. A little mix up over names here, but it was absolutely lovely to hear your reading, Leah. And I hope I live up to your expectations. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right in. I've just come from Dublin on the train today, and so this was written close to where I live in Dunleary Rattown, Sandy Cove. A heron, ankle deep in kelp, turns and creeps, her neck stretched out, startles, hunts her way across the intertidal zone. I stalk the bird who stalks the rock pool shadows. Here hops a sparrow down to the kelp. He picks morsels from fluorescent sea lettuce. The grey heron snags a fish. Next day, the shoreline feeds one wagtail and 2 hooded crows. 5 seals rest on half-submerged rocks like boats. Then I hear sweet singing off-key. Lift these fogged old binoculars and watch the seals open their mouths in song, faces turned, snout to snout. Thank you. And since I'm right here, don't feel you have to clap at everyone. So Rosie requested me to read a tree poem. And so what I had actually planned for you is, so this book is called Island and Atoll. It was launched in March, but there's a middle section that didn't make it into the title, which is called Ocean. So I've been, the last section was made in collaboration with a composer. So I've been doing some readings with musicians and reading the Atoll section. So it's really fantastic to have the opportunity to read from other parts of the book. And so this is mainly the ocean section, but I'm going to go inland to find a tree for Rosie. It's called the Commons. Under these houses, a field. Under that wall, the ghost of a hedge where bats once flew all summer from dusk to dawn. In damp corners, nettles to nourish the peacock caterpillars burst through veneers of pathway and lawn. In our times, the future begins in a garden where one hawthorn, spared when it volunteered from a crack in the paving, unfurls its leaves, a feast for larvae, soon to be emperors, fluttering nightly at ghost white moth flowers, all food for the coal tits and robins. See how a fairy thorn has nectar for 900 bees, haws for those thrushes, food for the infinite song. From all agents of absence, we reclaim the tune. So back to the coastline, the coal. Out walking the rack line, Dublin Bay, I found a chunk of coal bearing the calcified trail of some sea creature, its life recorded on land-wrought fuel, lost overboard to the barnacles, then tossed back out in the endless commerce of sea and shore, of busy port and habitat. News reaches us from a distant quay, a coral island in Torres Strait, where the mosaic-tailed rat, Melamies rubicola, technically a mouse, was driven extinct by climate change. Starved or swept away, first mammal victim, count the loss. Bramble Cay grows only pigweed now, a tower marks the island, where you'll find scattered fuel on coral sand, a long abandoned freight of coal. So I'm going to stay in the Antipodes for the next poem, which is from my earlier collection, Journey to the Sleeping Whale. And this, the cover picture is by a Cork artist, so Bertie Pringle, who lives in Ballyrotten. So I wanted to find one poem to read out of this for you. And this is a lament for an extinct species. And it's about Benjamin. He was called Benjamin. He was the last thylacine, and he died in Hobart Zoo, 1936. And thylacine. So the thylacine was a so-called marsupial wolf. So they lived in Australia and Tasmania, and that was like a wolf with a pouch, like a dog with a pouch, except it was striped. Yeah. And so it was a very significant animal because it's, you know, it's completely unique to have a marsupial predator like that. And in fact, it had its two closest relatives, the numbat and the Tasmanian devil. They're critically endangered at the moment. And, you know, its habitat is not somewhere I've been, but at the Natural History Museum in Dublin, there is a specimen of a thylacine. And the really tragic thing is that, you know, when these animals became rarer, then there was a huge bounty on their heads because the museums all wanted a specimen. So, lament for an extinct species. 1. The mercury sank lower than ever when Benjamin, last thylacine, locked out at night, died. It was a forgotten event. No bones or pelt kept. Regret is 3 minutes, 9 seconds of silent film footage. Once carved into Ubir rocks, we scratch his image onto paper. These are relics, skeletons a museum bought from bounty hunters back when the species declined and relatives died in cages all over Europe, neglected, unread. 2. And how do we grieve for a species? One woman went a bit mad, tried to conjure the thylacine back, nurture ghost whelps at the breast. On her bra, rose petal stains remain from the pink rose petals she tucked in like tiny shell bodies of marsupial pups in a pouch. 3. I come to this discipline in rage, looking for a voice to sing me as deep as the whales. I come with the weight of 1,000 books on my back, asking it to release me into my own body. I come in despair, looking for images to rose tint my eyes and flow out of my mouth. To this discipline, begging for wisdom to utter the word extinction, I come. Deep in the coal mine, carboniferous fossils. Other Victorian disasters. The Franklin expedition, 1845 to 1848, lost with all hands. Ice clots scribbled onto ropes, ship stove in, winter solid sheets of Arctic sea suspending our hold boat above the deeps. Spoiled provisions on our tongues, meat spooned from tins soldered with lead has blown holes in our brains. We race naked from the wreck, sacks of spoons, forks, knives on our backs, rescued valuables from the ice-bound vessel. Ship abandoned, we're running with broken thermometers, teeth and gums turned blue, lips peeling back into snarls, toes blackening and dropping off, fingers half gone, we can't feel the midst of our hands, yet we carry scraps, metallic mouths opened, shouting words swallowed in condensation, splintering onto our faces. We blunder over frozen seas with bags till we become bodies of men on a journey, white wastes of ice taking us one by one. Did we gnaw the bones of animal companions? We have forgotten, we forget. So I'm getting a bit grim here, so let's move to the present. Okay, meteorological upset. 3 starlings flew through a hole in the Arctic ice and landed on our washing line. So this next one is called Goddess of Rivers, Blue Cow. And I thought I'd read it here because I thought you might really enjoy how it came about. And what happened was sort of by chance, you know, when you're on the happy path of writing poems, sometimes things just fall into place. One chance follows another, and that's really the magic of it. So for complex reasons that I won't go into, I was invited to UCD to give a little paper, just 5 minutes. But by coincidence, that conference was going on at the same time as another conference, which was absolutely fabulous. There were 200 poets came to Dublin from Canada to kind of wow the whole of Dublin, except not very many people knew about it. And the only reason I was there was because I was giving a paper at the simultaneous conference. So I said, oh, this is amazing work. And so I kind of shifted over and I abandoned my conference and listened to all these wonderful Canadian poets. And, you know, there was, I don't know if you've heard of Joshua Whitehead, but he came to the National Library and gave the most amazing reading. Anyway, part of the conference also invited what they called a 24-hour instantology. So it was quite elaborate, right? They said they were going to have this instant poems, which you all do so wonderfully, and it was great to hear all your instant poems. So this particular one was very academic, you know, it was to be after James Joyce's Ulysses, page 317, the Cyclops page, right? So all these fancy poets were supposed to write something after this one page. So what I did was borrow some of those fantastic hybrid words. So you might see them in this poem. So, and also the other thing I want to admit is that I'm a biologist, and yes, as you heard, but my discipline originally was genetics. So, you know, the details of the loss of species and so on, it sort of bothers me, and it's at the back. But I've tried to get away from the scientific language. So engaging with James Joyce's Ulysses, page 317, certainly gets you away from the scientific language. So here we go. Goddess of Rivers, Blue Cow. The blacksmith had a Spanish beast. Gobnew's grey cow was her name. She glowed cerulean as a sea glass holy stone among the Dundunkety mud-coloured cattle on the hill, and gave so much milk it flooded in 7 streams from a sieve held by the crone. Balor cast his one front bulging eye on the cow, and while the baleful eye kept watch, he stole her from the forge. Away to Ilon Tory he rode in his curragh, towing the poor moiled cow with a byre rope round her throat and nose, plum eye rolled. The blacksmith, following the same 9 miles through a pattern of water, was distracted when he saw Balor's daughter. Many years later, their son killed Balor with a hot poker through the head, out of which rolled the one baleful eye like a red bank oyster. By Newspaper Now time, the last Tory Island cow had no calf, and the government sent a fiery bull named Felix, grandson of Letterkenny Eagle, from Longford on the ferry and winched him to the pier. But the bull, a strawberry roan, was too big for the island, and without issue, he was sent home. Now the milk is delivered by helicopter in plastic bottles, and the goddess is extinct. There'll be no cow suited for exposed islands unless they breed a Kerry with a Dexter, or a cerulean blue shorthorn is found wandering the mainland hills or hiding in a byre near the place of the eye. You're a great audience. That's the first time we've read that out in public. So, yeah. Okay, where are we? The shift gear here. This is a haiku sequence. As sea breeze stiffens, small brown butterflies alight on lady's bedstraw. Intertidal zone, a preening cormorant shows her yellow throat. Path to South Pool wall, marram grass and mustard knit the sand. Bees buzz around, closed thistle heads, grass still wet. Crouched in the bird hide, longing to spot a water rail, we see butterflies. And I got here early enough to see some of the poetry films, so I know you've probably all seen them several times over. Then my friend Brian Kirk made a poetry film called Red Line, and that was also a haiku sequence. So it's interesting the kind of cadence that comes off the tongue when you write in a form. It's okay. So the next 2 I'm going to read were written in Norway. I went on a really short residency to Bergen on a rainy Sunday in Bergen. A pot of parsley struggles on the windowsill. Outside, all is clouded sky. Raindrops cling to the glass. Church bells chime in a tangle of low and high notes, almost a rumble, still pulled hand to rope by bell ringers, and I wonder what the clamour of those bells might sound like underwater to the whales. With such huge echo chambers in their skulls, do they interrupt their mating songs and fall silent as they do when each ship passes? In our age of sonar mapping the sea floor, I hope beaked whales find peace to focus a beam of sound down through deep water, find squid to keep body and soul together. Sound picture. Cuvier's beaked whale beached near Bergen. Soft, soft, I whisper you back out to sea, push you away from the oil platform landing dock where you washed ashore, starving, only 4 cuttlefish beaks in your stomach, swallowed, they say, before those plastic pieces. So young, the tooth had not yet emerged from your gum, and ribs and spine were still unfused. I heave your body off the platform and swim out to sea with you singing. I mouth duets to your soft clicks. We hear soft bouncing echoes come back from the depths. You catch the delicate image of a squid's drifting skirts. Three or four more, is that the right timing? Close. Okay, so yeah. Okay, two. Okay. Okay, woven boat. We have grown into each other, our bog oak limbs polished as oar shafts, your elbow mending with mine. We find ourselves crammed in this coracle, rocked out of the same substance, our bodies lost somewhere while we lean to the journey. Our stillness is extraordinary as we balance one another in this eggshell of a dream. The storm in you roaring into me, my flight leading you to symmetry. Right. So I was going to read a new one, but the time has run out, so I'll end where I was.
No, go for it. Yeah, 3 more.
Okay. 3 more? Okay, you've got it. You get your value. A bucket for eggs. And this one has a shape. Silt on linen, wheat trace, driftwork, ladder rack, raised calcified trails, cockle shells curls among barnacles and peel paint, green on red on aquamarine, one hand curled around the cat shark nest, a mermaid's purse, tide cast dry. And this next one is called Carrystone, and it's about a 350 million year old chunk of limestone picked up at Inishmore in the Iron Islands. And something I'm trying to get at is kind of time, depth of time, and I'm still trying to work on this. So any suggestions, give them to me. Carrystone. In the wake of the wave that flowed and ebbed its way across steep time, while seabeds rearranged themselves, volcanoes breaking through to leave a trace of basin and blue, leave a shallow bowl and bank where stone-bodied life could thrive. A little girl asked her father if they could carry home one limestone chunk embedded with fossils in their small boat. Yes, he said, if you carried yourself across the island. The stone grew heavier with every step. Her flip-flop broke. She climbed dry stone walls, floundered barefoot through thistles, marshes, along stony tracks, soft grassy verges, limestone smooth and cool under her soles. 50 years later, she weighs that stone from the ancient Tethys ocean, asks it for dreams. Under her pillow, wave formations, wave, sine wave, the roll and heave of one great breath, a sum total of life on earth. Thank you everyone. So I know that you have to get on with an open mic, so your last one, your new one? Okay. Okay, fine. And you know, this was inspired by the remarks about you know, how we might make ourselves vulnerable. This is very recent. I wrote it. It's after Kieran Carson. I just went to Belfast to attend a conference about him and wrote it for that purpose. Fetch. Happen a person inhabits another's coat for a moment, feels the tick-tock of their lost watch in a breast pocket. Meanwhile, her daughter, magician's apprentice, recovers a stack of Muji notebooks long forgotten in their cupboard. The pen is their own, an old Parker with chipped enamel, so plain it was never stolen by some fellow student. Not long ago, she asked the master how to write a fugue. Now she wants to write the earth whole and holy, no more fugues. Conjure them all back, every insect and amphibian, ghost ponds, old forests, beside the goalposts, curlews feeding. So spring explodes with songs and croaks, so the city flaneur might meet an unexpected bird rather than a mirror. Happen a pattern of words becomes mantra, mantle, cloak. May we fetch ourselves into other selves, better and quick. I forgot to tell you the source of that quotation, which is Kieran Carson said, "In painting or writing, we double ourselves endlessly as we continue to make paintings or pieces of writing. By doing so, we fetch ourselves into other selves." Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope you keep fetching yourself and sharing yourself with us, your audience. That was amazing. So like, a little over a month ago, Paul said to me, "You never MC the next Ovale." He was like, "There's two amazing eco poets. I know you'll love them." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I will. And well, he wasn't at all wrong. It was a real privilege to introduce both Jane Robinson and Leah Naomi Green. Thank you so much. And a little plug for Jane Robinson. She has been collaborating with 3 musicians, a double bassist, a violinist, and an accordion player. And I mean, can it get much better than what we've already had? It probably can, with music, who knows? And they're having a launch. They've been working hard, and they have a CD which will be launched on the 8th of November at the Lexicon Studio Theatre in Dunleary, if anybody's up in Dublin, on the 8th of November around 6 p.m-ish. Okay, thank you so much. We'll take another break, maybe 5 minutes this time. 10, I think I have 10, and then we'll be back with the open mic. Woo-hoo!
Will I just remind you?
Yeah.
I have, but I haven't said.
Yeah. I'm very curious about your book. I
wrote down the name when I come back up. Or if you're going to our meetings afterwards. I love it because it inspired me. I love to interpret what they were saying. Just they might like one because before I was trying to control but asked to do them for used to see music for years. Otherwise, I would be reading because I was turning like that and making it record it. Thank you for the lovely party. Thanks, Rosie, for the lovely party.
Oh, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. She's amazing, isn't she?
I loved her. She was in my head all the next day. I was telling the children, like, her stories linked with, like, the cabmen with the shiny chances and the stilettos. I'm more there than here, you know? It was fantastic characters.
She was cool. Max, will you read for us?
As usual, I'm only writing as I go. I'm very low on the muse at the moment, but I'll stick my name in somewhere. Is it all these already?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. That means I have to stay all night. But I'll try my best. I do have some forms of discomfort at the moment.
Forms of discomfort?
Yup. All sorts of things lurking. I'm doing very well.
It's like there's 4 names in that order and kind of put one there, one there, one there, one there.
Okay.
This was 4.
That's a way of putting it. I guess putting something next to it. Yes, I see what you mean. Thank you. I did, yeah.
Good to see you fellow step ahead. I write poetry as well. More spoken word. Found it very going. How are you? I'm just doing
It's cool, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
I knew it.
In Irish.
Really weird. Really weird. That's right. Frank series of foods. Oh, I have no idea. I'm not sure what that's good yet.
By then, you plan to stay. I am planning to come back.
Okay.
Where was that?
Yeah, no, I'm planning to stay there.
Usually by the end of the night.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear. Never been properly.
That's why I feel like I need a day off and been struggling with the board, so I was just use that opportunity to go there, sit there, walk around there.
Yes. Yes, otherwise, if I couldn't see, I like see, I'm going
Something wrong.
You will leave anywhere. If I could.
There are.
At what time is the competition start?
It starts at 7:30. 7:30.
The place or
You have to sign up. Sign up by email, so you don't have to arrive early or anything.
Right.
But I think 7:30 the doors open.
Okay.
You can go in.
Yeah, audience. Yeah, audience.
I'll be audience.
Yeah, I mean there is a bus to Waterford. It's whether it's going in the evening and find out choice.
It should probably be around somewhere around 5, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to do the bus.
So I'm due in the car. I possibly have Kimmy in the car if she's not going with someone else. And then have one test. So that's so if you want to go,
Okay, everybody. Welcome back into the room. Welcome back on Zoom. We will before we get the open mic flying, I just forgot to say as well that Jane Robinson has books here for sale. They're usually €12, but for you they're 10. I'm gonna have one, so that means there's only 3 left. So you know you can get one of those. Okay, so we'll get the open mic rolling, and first up to the open mic is Olha Matzo. Did I say that right? You can correct me if not.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for my English. I'm Ukrainian. I'm just learning. Today, the sun forgot what to do. To rise or to set. It just hovered between the earth and sky, between yesterday and tomorrow, between you and me. The moon was surprised, looking at it from the side, thinking for a long time what to do, was hesitating, and then it rose instead of the sun. And no one knows anymore whether it's morning or evening, yesterday or tomorrow, whether the sun is shining or the moon. Are we on earth or in heaven? Is this us or not? Is this us or not? Is this us or not? Thank you.
Thank you, Ola. And let that be the last time you apologize for your English.
Sorry, I have a last drink, so I'm just.
Oh, safe home.
Thank you.
And next up, we'll have Margaret O'Regan.
Thanks, Rosie. I'm going to read from a book about Palestine, and it's a poem written by the late Kevin Higgins. Let me tell you about them. The teenagers we shot yesterday were shot responsibly through the eye with plain-speaking dum-dum bullets manufactured in Fife, or taken down with SR-25 sniper rifles flown heroically in from Orange County. Many of these so-called protesters specifically arranged to be shot in the back just to make us look bad. The gas canisters our people threw were entirely rational and legal, like the Boer firestorm the Kaffas brought down on themselves at Sharpeville, or the best of British ambush that Rubbish walked into in Derry. The one rogue canister which lost its mind and finished up in a tent beside an 8-month-old baby who sadly also expired, is currently under investigation and expects to be cleared of all wrongdoing, unlike the baby who we've already found guilty. There is no such thing as Palestinians, just some Arabs who used to live here and think they still do. The keys they wave in the air no longer open any doors. They are a rumor you foolishly believed. Now we've moved our eternal capital to what used to be their front room. I have a very, very small verse from Noam Chomsky. You take my water, burn my olive trees, destroy my house, take my job, steal my land, imprison my father, kill my mother, bombard my country, starve us all, humiliate us all, but I am to blame. I shot a rocket back. And next Wednesday, 6:30, outside the library, there will be a support demo for Palestine. Unfortunately, it clashes with the 10th anniversary of Deborah's spoken word, so some of us won't be there. But anyone that's in Cork, Wednesday, 6:30, Grand Parade.
Thank you, Margaret. You always bring things to us at some brain point. Yeah, thank you. And to Kevin Higgins, may he rest in peace. And Naomi Chomsky. Thank God for Naomi Chomsky. Or thank the world for Naomi Chomsky. I don't know if God had anything to do with it. There you go. And next up, can we have Sue Bloom, please?
So I'm hoping to do one of my album pieces for you. And for those that haven't been there, this is going to be a very first. So my album is this, Like Day and Like Night, came out just a couple of weeks ago, and I have the piece here and my little loudspeaker. This is on the Franklin Street. Zu dieser Abendstunde, at this evening hour, wenn die traurigen Gestalten durch kalte Straßen ziehen, when figures sad are walking through cold roads und enge Gassen in dunklen Winkeln hocken sie, and narrow lanes lingering in darker nooks, verzweifelt, weil sie ohne Ort und Obdach sind, despaired because they have no roof nor homes.
um ihre kranke Menschlichkeit privat auszuleben. To live their poor humanity in privacy withdrawn. Keuches Röcheln kommt aus feuchten Rachen. Wheezing gasps are coming from damp throats. Und Raucherlungen durch Crack und Meth verbrannt. And smokers' lungs burnt by meth and crack. Und krankes Krächzen kommt vom Nachtdurchmachen. And morbid rasps come from sleeping rough. Das man klamm und ohne Sofa nicht verbergen kann. Which stank and without sofa they can't mask. So wandeln die Gestalten süchtig, ohne Trost im Kopf. So the figures wander with addiction unconsoled. Zu dieser kalten Abendstunde durch die Straßen. At this cold evening hour through the roads. Und hungern härmend nach vertrauter Wärme. And hunger haggard for some homely warmth. Glück und gutem Essen aus dem eigenen Topf. Happiness and better food from their own stove. Weil meine Wege nun durch ihre Gassen führen. And as my path is leading through their lanes, so muss auch ihr hartes, obdachloses Schicksal, their hard and homeless fate, will move with pain. Schmerzlich mein warm behaustes Herz berühren. My safe and warmly dwelling heart and soul. Denn hätten sie Haus und Heimat, wäre nichts zu sehen. For had they house and home, I would not know.
Thank you very much. Good on you.
Sue. Next, we will go online and we'll have Catherine Ronan, please.
As they say in Cork, follow that. Fantastic, Sue. Well done, great achievement. I'm going to read a poem from my forthcoming collection, Elemental Skin, that's going to be published by Revival Press. It's totally autobiographical. One word in it, Tregumna, is a place in West Cork. First kiss. We bob up and down in your father's boat on the deepest lake in Tregumna. Bodies never reach the bottom, as in the dark descent to ripple-eeled beds. Skeletal fingers calcified in crevices catch scalps in murky half-light. Wearing tight grey Levi's, a white grandfather shirt, and a real leather belt that sunny, mystical afternoon. Your teeth, a shrine. Your lips, the holy grail. I never confess that I cannot swim. Promise of a first kiss outweighs any drowning. I pass your house boarded up now. What would a second first kiss taste like after all these years? Licorice or ginger, I wager, unless you are dead. Anyway, we're all dying now, eating memories.
You did a fine job of following there now, Catherine. Well done. Next up, we'll have Alison O'Shea, please.
Stretched across a shallow canvas, we are drawn and quartered in direct proportion to our own countenance. The sweetest fruit is the easiest to consume, and we desire to be devoured piece by delicate piece. Shedding our flowers and shattering husks, we reduce ourselves to simple seeds as though the sole existence of our core would give birth to a greater form. Apple blossoms and apple peel litter the ground at our feet as we strip layers away in some desperate urge to find a more palatable skin than the one we walk in. But we were not bred for consumption. We are maps and rugged mountains, valleys where the blind must search with hands bound for thickets and hedgerows. These flowers, this fruit, these abandoned husks are the rewards for travelers who chart these lands. Do not reduce yourself so easily. You are more than the sum of the fractured casing of your fragile heart. You are roots and leaves and autumnal loss. You are blossoms and rain in a summer drought.
Thank you, Alison. And now we'll have Antonio.
Thank you. This poem is called Someone Who Can Hold the Time. The knife in the hand cuts the onions. Then you may add some salt, oil, and gently also some coriander. Cook slowly, a glass of wine to insult the flavor. The jesters can articulate simple movements when they want to deliver a clear message. Grab the pen, grab the coat, grab the taste of the last portion of the day, waiting that the tea and the pot is ready to purse. Watch the color and the density inside. A spoon of brown sugar. Turn until the intricate dots become transparent mirrors. Stitch and stitch again. A word after another one, let the ink do the rest. Someone who can hold the time, fold and fold it again, slowly, with care, thirsty of waiting the and accomplish the moment, blessed, persistent like water. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Antonio. And next we'll have Philip Spillane, please.
Hey, so I got a new obsession or a new phase, or maybe it's a phase that's returned. I like spiders. They're great. They're all over my house, and they're more than welcome. And there was a spider all over my head there yesterday. I don't know what he was doing. Some boundaries were reached there anyway. I have a poem called The Spider's Industrial Age, and it's a response to that, because The Spider's Industrial Age is about a group of spiders that tried to get to the moon but failed. So I did the opposite. One spider got to the sun but succeeded. Yeah. It has no title. Alone, one false widow yawned its way to the sun, trapeze and spun through cumulus clouds and orange-skinned twilights, broke free of gravity into the celestial shrouds, leaving rainbow prisms, mandala crystals, macram lanyards spanning constellations and satellites. So the cosmos became a networked cluster in invisible webs. And as it spiraled closer, it felt the heat, it felt the burn from the spiritual sun. The silks melted to milk, and its coat crisped. And whoa, said the woman, as she pulled back the lampshade, finding it full of woolly cobwebs. A crystallized false widow caught in a bulb's web.
Thank you. I confess I killed a false black widow there last week. I don't usually kill spiders. I kind of used to, and then I stopped doing it. But I was afraid it might bite my mom, so I thought, you know what?
Perfectly fine.
And I
completely understand.
I had a conversation with it, and sorry. It was feisty too, because I caught it in a glass first, and it was proper running around like. Yeah. I caught it with a glass before I killed it. Anyway, sorry. Moving swiftly along. Mags Creedon, please.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right. The Gamelin Orchestra were playing, and time has been playing around in my head, but I just ties in with a piece about little children and seeing what Margaret was referring to. I really salute her piece. And these children are lost in time and space and being pulled out of rubble on both sides, really. But I kind of felt I'd write a little something. I have a little piece in that. I'll stop perambulation now and get on with it. Okay. She sang, "Every moment is divine. How finite time, hands of time, when first I held tiny hands in mine, dreaming their issue would come just in time for me. Cling to close life's link, sing no finite broke lament, bring praise of that last length where Plato wrote, great chain of being, nexus, hold this mortal string. And this is for the children lost in time and space. And the Marys are Mary Bonatti and Mary Robinson, who've done such Trojan work over the years trying to connect them all to their connections, their mothers. Little lost ones go to limbo, where they play their waiting game. A waiting rank, a waiting number, where they'll fit in just the same. Faceless in their timeless place, faceless pass through ports. Can you file and save me? I'm a little, I won't hurt. Mammy is the nanny state, Bonatti is my auntie. Mary sometimes comes to the rescue. My heart beats in wrong pace, at wrong pace, in wrong places. There are so many lost ones, some wealthy beyond dreams, but impoverished by outdated codes. They are just like us, it seems. Free me from my fence of glass, from my barbed wire window pane, from hard bedrooms that hum and groan. Detention spans my pain. But I can dream of soft embraces, of my name in a roll call. I can dream of a loving face who may find me after all. Think of the children.
Thank you, Max. And now we'll go to Jim Quicker. I think Jim Quicker running left the building, did he? Left the building, okay. Yeah. So Patricia Walsh, are you good?
Thank you, Rosie. This is called phlegm money. The grown-up photographs attached to laughter, being the spiraling avenues radicalized over time. I am caught in an artwork, obscure to some. That funny handshake wet through a critical eye, transcribing the garrulous rosebud as a tip. I am donating chattels, a token of all possessed. The bilateral failure I am stumbling over again. The diagonal cut, satisfying a weeping dragon. Watering the knowledge that none can ascertain. I'm sleeping through starvation, a walk in the park. The incriminating chit-chat comes through its growth, willful evidence if called to salvation. The single bed going to its stood ground, the melodic supremacy counting the hours, soft linen going hungry after a fashion. The reconstituted mean, more reception for same, a poisoned television takes up the slack, the welcome postcard ratchets up the ante, the provocative water breaking its stride, my defunct lanterns reincarnated to pretense. The injected field, slapped with a beat, the perfected license plate, a business well known, taking a nose of destiny, computed in style, the discarded joke where it belonged, tired out, the electric holiday, displayed to a touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. And now we'll go online and we'll have Jeff Cottrell, please.
There I am. Okay. So this one's relatively recent. There have been a lot of talk this year about artificial intelligence and how that's going to affect our creative endeavors. I thought I would do my own little experiment with AI poetry. Here we go. It's called AI Poem. Hello, this is Real Poem by Real Poet. Here is metaphor for futility of life. Life is undercooked pie, devoured by crabs in heat, in purple Commodore 64 computer, divided by 43. Why is sky green? Because there is no bananas in portrait of my last duchess. My name is Ozymandias, hear me roar. And she is buying Stairway in Park with George. Summertime, and your mother is easy. And I guess that is why they call it Blue Velvet. Exit pursued by Bear Bodkin. Now, real poet tries to obtain Arts Council grant. Hello, this is conventional literary poet. Poet writes about nature and poet's pet cat and struggles of poet's immigrant family before poet was born, and wild caribou that is symbol for futility of life, and much alliteration and sound bond. An error has occurred. To continue, press enter to return to the stanza, or press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to restart the poem. If you do this, you will lose any unsaved imagery in all of the previous lines. Error OE 016F, BFF 9B3D4. Press any key to continue. 0% complete, 13% complete, 34% complete, 57% complete, 78% complete, 93% complete, 98% complete, 98% complete, 99% complete, 100% complete. Hello, this is Real Poet. Now, Real Poet tries to score high slam points. Hello, this is Slam Poet. Poet is very politically aware and cares deeply about relevant social issues and uses audience as personal group therapy and uses word awesome sauce for laugh and ends poem before 3 minutes time limit. Real poem ends now. Signed, Real Poet. So there's my experiment with AI poetry. Thank you. If you have any friends in Australia, I'm going to be there in a few days. I'm doing a book tour with Paul Cohn. So if you've got any friends in Sydney, Canberra, or Perth, let them know Jeff Cottrell's coming. Thank you.
I really hope you can hear the laughter in the room because we were all in stitches, Jeff. Happy travels to you. Next up, can we have Cathal O'Brien Regan, please?
So this poem is called "You Caught Me on a Good Day." It's a poem that I've just finished writing fairly recently, and it's all about being nice to everyone but dying inside, basically. So it's called "You Caught Me on a Good Day." You caught me on a good day. My head isn't roaring yet. There isn't my own voices vying for control of the mic to run the set. Sometimes I squeeze the shit out of stress balls. Sometimes I diverse reflex. Sometimes I scream at soundproof walls and after minor effects. It's either all too much for me or not enough at all. And I've always been an advocate of pride comes before the fall. And I have been proud recently. I'm delighted with this work I've penned, and as I penned, there it is, that numbing sense that lingers at the top of my brain and warms the extreme ends. The pulsating follows and my concentration bends. So to follow a single stream of thought, not being heckled during that event, is difficult, as you could bet. I'm just tired of forcing smiles and feigning guiles, but you'll be fine. I'll be fine, I have to be. I will play the Atlas as my Jericho walls come caving in. You caught me on a good day. I'm not wondering if you will mourn my death, not scrambling to catch my breath, not struggling to stay in check, but that one, are you okay with true respect? That one, are you okay? And from the depths, am I okay? Like Jesus wept, help me, Father, for I know not what I do or what you want from me, but soon, lesson 7, submit myself to you or commit myself to a tomb. No, tombs too grandiose, sarcophagos or adios. I overdose on thoughts, for in that sleep what dreams arrive, it must give us pause. And respect, is there another line? For who can bear the whips and scorns of time? Can I? You caught me on a good day. I'm not annoying you for being me. See, every day is a good day. For others' sakes, it has to be.
Fair play, Next up, we'll have Benjamin Burns.
This is called Relief. Anxiety grips my jaw like fingers grip the limestone face of Beaumont Quarry I've taken shelter from the road noise and the heat under late green foliage and empty lager cans, spinning a retreat into the center of this orb weaver's web where rosehip to rosehip the wood pigeon's wing whistles up and red admirals join at the abdomen to fuck in the sunlight triumphant, while I suck at this near emptiness through a straw and turn the whole reassuring moment between the fingertips of my right hand before discarding it, banking on the presence somewhere of a squirrel.
Mighty stuff, Benjamin. And now we will go online for Massimo. Are you ready, Massimo?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yay.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. So this piece is called The People Who I Love and I Care For. A family, a lover, or a friend. Some there from the beginning, some there before the end. Some whom I've lost I may see around the bend as a part of myself that I'll soon see again. Some who have caused pain I tried to amend. I didn't ask forgiveness, they forgave even then. May it be those with whom I need not pretend, who receive the true heart and hand that I lend. 'Cause I am far beyond fortunate. I'm so blessed it almost seems disproportionate. But before I earned this love, I was awarded it. So paying forward is my way of affording it. Love is not a wage to earn or a reward to get. It's more like a fruit bearing seeds from the core of it. Love is not a currency with less of it or more of it. It's a memory that heals just by drawing from the source of it. 'Cause to begin with, every human has a childhood and knows what it's like to see the world as a child would. If a human's done anything, it means a child could. Question if it's right, but do not question if the child's good. 'Cause every human had a father and a mother. Every mother had a father, every father had a mother. That means that if you exist, somebody had a lover. If you say it wasn't love, then change that as you love each other. 'Cause there's a strange math to this universe, that before we are born, there is union first. You would think one would make two, but two is first. Maybe life's way of proving what union's truly worth. 'Cause there's a strange math to this universe, that when you hurt another, most times it's you who hurts. The question isn't who does what to whom or who was first. The question is how I'd see myself were the view reversed. 'Cause we may love someone for who we are around them. Love is sometimes taking someone higher than you found them. Or sometimes just to be there and not to judge or doubt them. Remembering that just like you, their world is all about them. 'Cause this world has way too many people if you try to count them. But everyone will prove no one's the same if you allow them. People still surprise me after all this time around them. Yet looking at my own soul, I know all souls without them. How can I concern myself with the population? My heart is just a small home, it is not a nation. My little world is like two lovers in a conversation. A billion voices, but my love has all my concentration. To be a delegate to all is not my proper station. My own baggage is enough, my heart is not a station. Loving those I'm close to takes my fullest occupation. So before embracing all, may my love for one be all embracing. a family, a lover, or a friend. Some there from the beginning, some there before the end. Some whom I miss, I may see around the bend as a part of myself that I'll soon see again. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. And both our guest poets mentioned song or singing in their poems, and we are very lucky to have a very, very lovely singer in the room tonight who's going to share a song with us. Please welcome Karen Casey.
Do you hear the trees fall in the forest? Do you hear the moon at night? Do you hear the cuckoo as she sleeps? Hear the rolling of the deep, the rolling of the deep. Do you hear the fern out in the fields? Do you think that music heals? Do you hear the twilight stepping down before her feet touch the ground? She makes no sound. Yes, I will return to the wild, to my wild birds and deer. Yes, I will return to the wild. If you let sorrow come in on you, he will come and stay. He will sit down to wine and dine, and he won't go away. Do you hear the trees sail in the forest? Do you hear berries grow on the salt, salt sea? Do you hear the amber as she falls? Your memory calls. Your memory calls. Yes, I will return to the wild, to my wild birds and deer. Yes, I will return to the wild.
We go for Carl Holden next, please.
Happy guys, I hate sneaking in just to catch the open mic, but I did catch some of this online. It was a fabulous evening. How are we all doing? What is the crack? So I have just a short, I guess it's more like the back page of a book than it is a story yet. But it's called Inishful, and I like where it's gone. A young boy asks his father to tell him the story of St. Patrick before bed. The father protests. You've heard this one too many times, Finn, he says. But Dad, comes the reply, it's my favorite. Tell me again. Tell me how the snakes ate him. And the dad smiles and shakes his head and begins the story once more with the magic words. Fado, 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 forever and a year ago. This happened here, in this place, to people just like you. Sure enough, the story is told, and St. Patrick wends his way, barefoot and backwards for some reason, to the top of Ireland's second highest peak, and bells out a ferocious command to the pagan snakes to leave this body in the name of our almighty Lord God. And he is probably eaten whole and entire by a curious Ullapaist, summoned just for the purpose by a nearby squadron of giggling druids. And history proceeds from this moment. The Age of Heroes begins again. Paganism prospers. The Tuatha De Danann emerge from the land of the Sidhe and decide it's not all that bad here and set up an embassy on the old Ross Road. The Vikings call by, hoping to find a lot of very cold pink men with terrible haircuts sitting on enormous piles of treasure, only to be repelled by magical storms and a vicious race of male and female warriors who appear to be enjoying themselves very much. They are immediately invited back for a rematch, which they politely decline. Still, some settle in this intimidating new land and find themselves in high demand as civic planners, hairstylists, and general instructors in the principles of hygiene. A couple of 100 years later, the Normans arrive. They're each given a fiddle and a copy of O'Donnell's Irish-English Dictionary. As for Cromwell, he doesn't get a look in. There was never a famine, for there were never any spuds. This is Ireland, but not as you know it. We're still pale and freckled, and not worried about the inbreeding, but we did often keep it local. Of course, there's still immigration, and sometimes even emigration too. West Cork is full of German aspirant hierophants, and Gort is packed with Brazilian shamans, offering capoeira classes and ayahuasca retreats on a like-for-like basis with the natives. There are very few English and Americans, however, something that seems to be down to the language barrier. Welcome to Inishfall.
Fair play, Cathal. And next, can we have May Jeanette? Okay, with Rebecca and Adam, they all left today. Okay, Cedric Becon.
Thank you very much. That title is still temporary. I don't know for all of you. I had ended up bringing close to church somewhat. There was still a little bit of a wiggle room, but you know, church. And in some of my adventures, I'd say, I was offered the opportunity of joining priesthood a few times. Apparently, they saw something in me. The feeling wasn't mutual, obviously. But I still do pray sometimes, like in times of need. That's the best moment to pray, I guess. So I wrote this one as a prayer. For now, it's titled Lamb with an S, optional. But it might change. I believe in the gods, the demons, and the devil, about how real is evil, about how existence is but a breath, but life is a beat of all things, either moving or staying still, the change from fire into warm and sparks, the heat against the universe's cold anvil, struck forever by the hammer of divine will. I believe in that fleeting moment I accept it must be forever. For we come from nothing, and to nothingness we cannot return ever. We, vision of a with a sharp, shapeless dream, pattern on the fabric of the original dream weaver. I believe my sin will be absolved, for they bring what success will not. I pray that when I finally dissolve, somewhere unconsumed remains the happiness of the tangled lives I resolved. Together with my brothers and sisters, let's pray, let's pray.
Thank you, Cedric. Priest in the Church of Poetry, perhaps? So now we'll have one more in the room and then we'll go online for Emily, so you can be ready there. So we'll have Roisin Leggett-Bowen first.
Thanks so much, everyone. It's really great to hear your work this evening. I really enjoyed your work, Jane. This is called The Hearse That Stalls on Hills, and it's a centina or a centina. And the rules with a centina or a centina is that it has to be 100 words exactly, and it has to start with the first 3 words and end with the same 3 words. So it's called A Hearse That Stalls on Hills. Night spins ever, you in the back, buckled up in oak, tucked in crimson velvet. A vintage motor, dodgy to handle, steering gets stuck, indicators point us in the wrong direction. Cracks in the roof where the rain gets in. We are in floods, often. I fasten life vest to your thin chest, wishing windscreen wipers for my eyes. Solemn hitchhikers offer to share the wheel, but they don't know this journey as I do. Haphazard bends, black spots, the donuts you beg me to do over, do over, do over. Days are tarpaulin, shrouded in, but night spins
You got that? Oh, okay. It's a power you have. Next up, we have Emily. So good to see you on the screen, Emily.
Well, thank you so much. Like, this is like a homecoming. It's been like I think 2 years since I was here with you all, and it's wonderful to be back. I wish I was really there in person for hugs and to go out and feel the Irish mist and weather. But it's kind of rainy here. I'm actually probably not. I'm not far from where Leah Naomi Green is, because she's in Virginia. I'm in Roanoke, Virginia, in the mountains too. I'm in a valley. Sounds like she's in the mountains. I'm in the valley. And but yeah, so thank you for letting me in and sending me the links, even though it's been so long. And it's so great to see like Sue and Phil and Rosie and Paul. And yeah, so thank you. I'm going to read one poem. It's titled When I Was, and It's about my mom and me, and which is no surprise. And many of you knew my mom because she was such a big fan of O'Leil, and um, encouraged me to read there like 10, 12 years ago now. So, all right. When I was hoping mom was not dead, I was in a kind of jar, looking out at another red barn, burn barrel, cows I hardly noticed. A wasp flew to a high corner, chewed. Yellow crepe paper fell to the floor. Morning after my little brother Jeffrey's 5th birthday party, light stretched through sliding glass doors. Mom stumbled in. When I was 16, a wasp pulled yellow crepe paper. Mom stumbled in holding her side. Hurt. I should have felt sorry. Cow chewing to death. When I was 16, Mom and Jerry were divorcing. Laura and I decorated the living room with yellow crepe paper, ran the sharp edge of scissors down ribbons to curl them for little Jeff's 5th birthday party Mom missed. She stumbled, cradled an answering machine, holding her side. Hurt. I was in a kind of infirmary, yellow crepe morning. Wasps crawled up another red barn, burn barrel, cows, not pigs this time. Again, I was 16, hoping Mom would take care, the way she showed Laura and I to run the sharp edge of scissors down ribbons. Mom stumbled. Miss Jeff's light turned 5 the night before. She planned bowling, blue cake, yellow crepe paper fluttered. Where have you been? Jerry's answering machine in her arms, hard breathing, rib broken. We don't know yet. How many cows chewed through infirmary yellow grass? How an unbreaking wasp tickled a red barn through soft glass? Again, I was 16, waiting and hoping. Mom missed little Jeff's light party, stayed out all night with Jerry, stumbled home. Morning held her glass ribs. I have Mom's ribs. Our 10th false rib pokes out. Her hurt stood out, asked to be broken. Again, when I was 16, Mom's false. Hurt. Her hurt shook my jar. Wasp stumbled in. Crepe. Again. I was 16. Mom stumbled. I flew. She fell. Little Jeff's light stretched 5 years. When I was 16, Mom stumbled in. I did not miss feeling sorry. I pushed, slapped, kicked, poked. I could not stop answering hurt. I ran the sharp edge of my hands down her body. Mom curled. Another wasp in a jar. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. It's so good to hear you and see you. We miss you and we love you. Okay. Wow, what a night. Thank you, Jane Robinson, and thank you, Leah, Naomi Green. How blessed are we? Amazing. So if I may, I will finish with a poem, not one of my own poems. It's a very famous eco poem, but I thought with two great eco poets tonight, I was like, I need to learn that poem. So I tried to learn it today, so hopefully it is in my head, and hopefully it is. And it's one that you've probably all read before. The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of my life and my children's lives, I go to where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I rest in the presence of still water, and feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
It's not enough, especially about the actual voice. But thank you so much. You're welcome.
I remember him